All right.
You're muted, Yemi. You're muted.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good evening. I hope you all of you are fine. Can I have your attention, please? The Bhinneka Toastmasters Club meeting will start soon. And I would like to invite to all of you to watch the following video. All right, ladies.
You're muted, Yemi. You're still muted, Yemi.
That was a great video, by the way.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the president of the club, President Fifi Amaliawati. Thank you.
Thank you, our SAA Toastmaster Yeni Wong. Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. My name is Vivi Amaliawati, Club President from Bhinneka Online Toastmaster Club. I would like to call this meeting to order. Welcome, Bhinneka Online Toastmaster Club members, visiting Toastmaster, especially who help us doing the role takers for this meeting, such as Toastmaster Nini from Surabaya Heroes Toastmaster Club, becomes our GE. Toastmaster Titi Ningsi from Empire Toastmaster Club. She becomes our timer. Toastmaster Safira Nabila, our future member, I heard. Toastmaster Lada for prepared speakers. And Toastmaster Amelia from Hand Toastmaster Club as evaluator. Also, to the other visiting Toastmaster Club members and honor guests, it's my privilege and pleasure to welcome you to our regular meeting today, Sunday, October 16, 2022. I would like to recognize any guests we have today. Do we have anyone new guest here today? I saw someone from Empire Toastmaster Club. Luisa from Empire Toastmaster Club. This is the first time you join our meeting.
Hi everyone. No, it's not my first time actually. I have joined before, but I skipped for a while, so I'm here again. Thank you for having me.
Okay, welcome and enjoy our meeting. A bit introduction for Bhinneka Online Toastmaster Club. This is online Toastmaster Club established in December 2020. At this moment, we have 19 members. Our meeting is twice a month on every Sunday at the first and third week. We have club values as simple as ABC. A stands for appreciate our club members. B stands for build each other up. And C stands for celebrate our successes. This is in line with Toastmaster tagline, where leaders are met and Toastmaster core values, integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Today, our meeting theme is Who's the Boss? If you ask my children, their answer is, of course, their mother is the boss. Now let's back to the meeting. We have 3 prepared speakers today. We hope everyone will participate and have fun. Let's start this meeting by having our Toastmaster of the meeting for today. He is member of Bhinneka Online Toastmaster Club, lives far away in Mauritius. Do you know where Mauritius are? Or somewhere maybe near Madagascar? Let us welcome Toastmaster Robin Chan.
Yay! Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all for for all of you here this morning, this afternoon, and evening here today at Bhinneka Online Toastmasters. I would like to welcome you all. My name is Robin. I'm your host, and I'm also known as the Toastmaster of the meeting. For short, they call it Tom in Bhinneka Online Toastmasters. And today we will have some fun. And our theme today is, who's the boss? So let me ask you this. Who is the boss in your house? Ben, who is the boss in your house?
I have 2. One is my wife, and the other one is my little dog. They control everything.
Control everything. You have nothing to say about it, right?
Correct.
Okay, let's move on. Toastmaster Dini, who is the boss in your house?
Of course, myself. Because I live alone
Yourself.
in Surabaya, yes. So I am the boss.
Oh, yourself. You're the boss. You're the main boss. And that's awesome. All right, let's ask another one. Lada, all the way from the US. Who is the boss at home?
I live alone too, so me.
You are the
Me.
boss.
But you know, I
You-
must tell you, I'll tell you something. I'm going to get philosophical. I used to be a people pleaser, but no more. It's all about me now. So I'm the
All
boss.
right.
Oh, wait.
All right. Awesome. Okay, so guys, we're going to start our meeting now, and please share out in the chat below. You can just share who is the boss of you, or you are the boss. If you are the boss, then tell us what makes you the boss of your own life or at home. Tell us in the chat. All right. So while we are going to move on with our program today. So just tell us in the chat below. All right. So what do we have on our agenda? So if you do not have the agenda, please raise up your hand. We will just put it in the chat below, and then we will have our SAA, our Zoom master, to send out or anyone to send out the agenda. As you can see, the agenda is very well organized. We have started on time, and we had started with the video to introduce about Bhinneka and what we should do and all. And now moving on to the theme of today. And let me tell you about the word of the day. And the word of the day today is esteem. So everyone say esteem. Unmute yourself, say esteem.
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 Not ice cream, yeah.
Not ice cream. That's right. It's esteem. So please use out the word of the day today, and our grammarian will tell us more about it on how we should use the word of the day. And now let's welcome my partner in crime, who is also the boss of today, and she is the general evaluator. Let's welcome Toastmaster Dini, our general evaluator, to introduce the meeting roles today of her team. Let's welcome Toastmaster Dini.
Thank you, Toastmaster Robin. Good evening, everyone, and also good morning to you, Lada. My name is Dini from Surabaya Heroes, and tonight I will serve as the general evaluator. As general evaluator, I will see the whole meeting, but of course, because in Toastmastering we have so many aspects to be seen, I will not work alone. I have my great team that will help me tonight. I will start with I believe she is the young here, our talented language evaluator. Bia, could you please explain about your roles?
Thank you, Dini. So good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to your language usage, and of course, I'll take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. And as grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. It, as was said by our lovely Tom, it's esteem. Esteem, by its meaning, means respect and admiration, typically for a person. That is for the noun, and for the verb, it means respect and admire. So the use of it in a sentence could be, my dream is to be held in high esteem by my peers. So make sure that you use the word of the day, and I'm looking forward to this meeting. Back to you, our GE.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bia. And since I see from the agenda that I believe our next role taker is also a very lovely lady, soft-spoken but very funny. I would like to call our counter for tonight, Toastmaster Titin from Empire Toastmaster Club. Toastmaster Titin.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. My role as the counter is to take note and count the unnecessary words and sounds such as so, you know, and something of the sort. And I would like to offer 2 tips to reduce the filler words, which are to slow down a bit and pause when you are aware that you are about to say the filler words. And I will present my report when called upon by the General Evaluator. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Dini.
Thank you, Toastmaster Titin. Now, as the next in my team, I would like to call another pretty ladies that I was amazed before because her voice is very pretty. I would like to call our timer, Toastmaster Yeni Wong, to explain her duty.
Thank you, Dini. Hello, everyone. My name is Yeni. I will be the timer for today. The timer means telling you have passed the required time or not. So, prepared speakers will spend 5 to 7 minutes. For the table topic session, later will be 1 until 2 minutes. For the evaluator session, will be 2 until 3 minutes. And I will give you sign from my background color, green, yellow, and red. For all the speakers, for all the prepared speakers, green at 5 minutes, yellow at 6, red at 7. For this one table topics, green will be 1 minute. Wait a minute. Yeah, 1 minute. And yellow.
One minute 30.
Yellow,
Yeah,
1
1 minute 30
seconds.
and the red is 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, yes. And for evaluator, green at 2, yellow at 3, and red at 3 minutes. Now go back to GE Dini.
Yellow
Thank
at
you.
2:30.
Yeah,
Sorry.
2:30.
Yeah.
And red
Yellow
at
3
3.
and for yes, correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Yeni. And the last but not least is the busiest role taker in every meeting. I would like to call our Zoom host and also ballot counter, Toastmaster Seni, to explain her duty.
Thank you, Madam GE. Hello, everyone. My name is Sani. Today, I am serving as a Zoom host, which is my main job is to make sure that everyone spotlighted well and on time. And as a ballot counter, of course, I will launch the poll and also count the vote for the favorite one. So everybody make sure that you listen to all of the speakers today and vote for the favorite one. Thank you. That's all for me. Back to you, Madam GE.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Seni. And I and my team will give our evaluation and feedback on the evaluation session. In the evaluation session. I think that's all for me. Back to you, Toastmaster Robin.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Dini, our general evaluator. Let's give her a round of applause to introduce her team with us. And today, yes, if you are doing anything here, any kind of speech, anything that you have to say, your your ums and your grammar. So we will help you out to learn and grow, to identify the little things here and then just learn about it. That's what Toastmasters is all about. And now let's move on to the next part of our meeting. The next part of our meeting, we have the prepared speeches. And tonight and this morning for some of you, and this afternoon for some of you as well, we will have 3 speakers, as you can see on the agenda. The first speaker, the first up, we have Lada, all the way from the United States of America. And next up, we have, I talk about you, Ben. Don't need to rejoice so much. The next speaker, we have Dian, who is our member from Bhinneka Online Toastmasters. And lastly, we have Natalie, all the way from Bali. Yay, let's cheer for them. Today, let's see who is the boss of the house. No, I'm kidding. No need to show like who is the boss here. Okay, so we have 3 speakers, and the first speaker will be who is none other than Lada. Let me introduce to you who is Lada. Lada is all the way from Manhasset, am I pronouncing correctly? Manhasset Toastmasters Club in the USA, in New York. And today she will be practicing her humorous speech. She wanted to have this platform here today. I saw her post online on Facebook. She was like, any clubs around here, the world wants to give me a chance to speak, to practice my humorous speech. Then I said, yes, Bhinneka Online Toastmasters Club. And that's why she's here today. And today her title is 1 in 10 adults do this. And her speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and she will be evaluated by me and Toastmaster and DTM Natalie as well for a round robin evaluation. It's a different kind of evaluation. Just give her some feedback on how she can improve on her speech. So now let's welcome Toastmaster Lada, all the way from the US, for the speech title of 1 in 10 adults do this. 1 in 10 adults do this. Toastmaster Lada, over to you.
Hello, my fellow toast gods and goddesses. 1 in 10 adults do this. Are you curious? What could it be? Can you guess? Could it be that 1 in 10 adults only eat ramen noodles? Could it be that 1 in 10 adults identify themselves as unicorns? Or could it be that 1 in 10 adults pick their nose while they're in the car? They're all kind of crazy, right? But wait till I tell you what it really is. You ready? 1 in 10 adults suck their thumbs. Yes, 1 in 10 adults suck their thumbs. That means 1/10 of the planet sucks their thumbs. 780 million people suck their thumb. I have no idea how they talk with their thumbs in their mouth, but they do. And if statistics are correct, there are 2 adult thumb suckers in this room. Wow. Bring out the white smoke. Come out wherever you are. But I know you won't, because there's a little bit of shame, right? It's not like something you talk about at a cocktail party. Oh, yes, I'm an adult thumb sucker, yes. But according to my speech, I'm going to try. I know you never thought about this. I know you're never going to think about it again, but I'm going to convince you that adult thumb sucking is cool. You ready? Here we go. Okay. First of all, at 12 weeks, each and every one of you, all sucked your thumb. That's right. You had no brain, so it was basically a no-brainer. Celebrities do it. Yes, they do. Y'all know Rihanna? That's right. She's cool. She sucks her thumb. TMZ always photographing her. She's like, Then we have Lady Gaga. She's like, when my thumb is in my mouth, my creative juices flow. And then we have Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator, the Dominator. I'll be back. There are people that are truly proud of their thumb sucking. There really is. They have films, they have societies. There's even a Facebook group, and it's called We Suck. That's right. They are thumb suck proud. They're so proud that they even have a song that they sing. And you guys come and sing along with me if you want. Unmute yourselves, because it's a very familiar song. Here we go. At least the melody. If you're happy and you know it, suck your thumb. If you're happy and you know it, suck your thumb. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, suck your thumb. All right, exactly. Yes. I'm not the only crazy in the room, right? Yes. But you're like, really? Okay. You're looking at me like, maybe I'm just not funny. Oh, or maybe, are you offended? Well, if you're offended, you're kind of giving me your power away to me. And if you are offended, are you really offended because of other people or because of you? Because if it was me and you in the room, you'd be like, that's funny, right? So no one's offended. Basically, all we care about is adult thumb sucking is cool. Yes? All right. Confession time. I need some drama on my speech, okay? Right? Here we go. I am one of the 2 thumb suckers in this room. I wish I was, but I'm not. I wish I was. The worst I do is I put my fingers in my mouth. That's about it. But yes, true, I did as a child, up to 5 and 6 years old. I definitely was a daytime thumb sucker. And how many of you out there was also with me, right? And your mother's like, you got to stop. But she was putting on cayenne pepper. She was putting on salt. She was putting on whatever she could to have you stop. And you're like, no. And you would spit it out and you keep on sucking your thumb because you are a thumb sucking warrior. Any other thumb sucking warriors out there? Give me a hands up. Give me a high five. Woo. Okay. But true, I am going to confess, I was a nighttime closet sucker. What I mean is I would like 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, maybe even in my 20s, I would actually, when I was go to sleep, I'd put my finger in my mouth and I would rock back and forth and back and forth. Try it. It really feels good. It really does. And I would actually try it these days, but you know what? I can't. I just get dizzy. So it just does not work. So thumb sucking, it's no big deal. It's better than drugs. It's better than smoking. It's better than drinking. It's free. It's an endorphin boost, immune system boost. The best part about it is you actually save money because you don't have to wash your thumbs. You've done it yourself. Great. Okay, are you convinced? All right, we'll see. If not, doesn't matter because this part's going to do it for you. I know it is. We're going to do an adult thumb sucking meditation. You ready? We're going to suck the shame out of you. You ready? All right. Everyone close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. You're floating and you're in your mother's womb. Oh, you've missed it so. It's so safe. It's so comforting. Your hands are free and your thumb goes into your mouth so naturally. Feels so good, tastes so good. Yes. Wait a second. Is there someone in the womb with you? Is that Arnold the Dominator? Are we in the movie Twins? No, it's just a fart bubble. We're okay. Go back to your thumb. Keep sucking that thumb. Feels great. Feels awesome. Feels so, so good. All the shame is gone. All is well. Deep breath in, then out. Open your eyes. And if y'all think that adult thumb sucking is cool, give me a thumbs up and a hee-haw. Woo! Back to you, toast god of the evening.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you very much for you to share with us today about the thumb and all those thumb suckers out here. I hope you're not one of, she said she found two here. So let's see, who are they? Later we'll find out. Yeah, we have one here. We have one here. I guess the Americans does it well.
It must be an American thing.
It's an American thing. All right. Moving on to our next speaker of today, who is none other than Dian Marian T. And she will be delivering her speech from the path of presentation mastery. And her project today is Level 3, Project 2 on connecting with storytelling. So let's give up. Is Dian here? Yeah, Dian is here. And her speech title is Success with Waste Management. Speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. And the evaluator is none other than Toastmaster Ben, also from the US. And let's welcome our Toastmaster, our speaker, our second speaker of today, Dian, for the speech title of Success with Waste Management. Success with Waste Management. Toastmaster Dian, over to you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once upon a time, there was a woman who interested in household waste management because she realized that much waste from her house. Furthermore, 6 months ago, her close friends asked her to join the Earth Day festivals as a volunteer. The event had many activities, such as poster designs, talk show on how household waste management, and planting trees. At the end of the event, she got the big container and Felita yeast for composting. Next, she thought that it is the best time to do the composting, since she considered the large part of her domestic waste is food waste and diaper waste. It can 30 until 40 diapers in a day. What? Does she have 3, 5 children? No, because she runs a daycare next to her house. Then she remembered the big container that she got from the event. First, she focuses on the wet waste. She chopped the fruit peels, vegetable peels, and fruit into small pieces and put all of them in the container. The first layer solid, the second wet waste, the third solid. She repeated until the container full. Then she closed the container. Then 3 weeks and then 3 days, she got complaint from the occupant. Because why? The unpleasant smell from the container. Then she realized that she forgot to put the Felita yeast to the composting. Then 10 days again, she heard like the sound, like truck, truck. Then she checked the container full of maggot. It's not the useful maggot for composting, but it is small and it can turn into black flies. But she kept in continuing composting because she believed all the living things can decompose by itself naturally. It is matter of time. 3 weeks, she got the compost and put near the root of plant and pour on the surface of her yard. The wet waste done. But how about the diapers? Until now, she can solve the diapers problem. She wants to recycle, but unfortunately, the diapers is not designing for recycle. It contains plastic, cottons, and of course, contaminated human waste. And she just give like a suggestion to all of her parents. Perhaps they might use cloth diapers. It is cost saving and it can use many times. But you know what? The parents said that, oh no, because using cloth diapers means more laundry and more cleaning. So it's impractical. Okay, then the second, she tried and prepare all of her students since toddler for potty training. Since if the student can go to the toilet by themselves, it will reduce the diaper usage. Ladies and gentlemen, the woman who is speaking in front of you right now leave a question. Did the woman succeed in managing waste? Hence, the woman still tries until now and asks everyone here to make the same thing to make our environment better for our future generation. Will you help the woman succeed? Back to the Tom.
Wow, thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause to Diane. Awesome. It's quite funny. One talk about thumb sucking and the other one talk about diapers. And I'm like, what is this meeting today? Is it because of the cute picture? Who is the boss? Like what you've seen in our poster? Is that what is it all about today? Maybe. And now let's move on to our next speaker, who is no stranger to us. Let's welcome Toastmaster Natalie, who will be delivering her speech from Strategic Relationship for the project of Level 1, Project 4 on the second speech. The speech title is Quick and Slow. The speech length is 5 to 7 minutes, and she will be evaluated by Toastmaster Amelia Fabriani, all the way from Hand Toastmasters Club in Surabaya. And now let's welcome our last speaker of tonight, Toastmaster Natalie. Quick and slow, Toastmaster Natalie, over to you.
Natalie, what is your passion? I was 25 in my last semester in Australia when my friend G asked me this question. And I was speechless. Unexpected, was it? So I asked him back, G, how do you define passion? Well, it's something that you enjoy doing, something that can make your heart sings. That confused me even more. First, I never knew my heart could sing. And second, I didn't really know what I enjoyed doing. In my family, it was like Nike, just do it. We never stop and ask, is this what I really want to do in life? Friends, do you also share the same struggle of not knowing what you want to do in life? I wouldn't ask you to raise your hand, but I can see some of you are nodding. We all need holiday. And that day, I realized that I may be quick with my mind, but I was slow with my heart. Fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, I used to think that life is a series of progression with a fixed destination. We graduated school, we got a job, we got married, and our life will be on the right track. When I turned 30, I had already graduated school, got a job, and got nothing to share on the relationship side. It felt like something was wrong and missing because at that time, I still didn't know what I wanted to do in my life. If some of my friends already got an award 30 under 30, I was also 30 under 30. Different doubts. What do I want to do in life? Is this the right path to follow? What is my passion? Friends, do you also have those unanswered questions in your heart? I too was really quick in listening and doing what other people expected of me. But I was so slow in understanding what truly matters to me. And one night, as I was pondering upon this dilemma, I came across old photo albums of my dad. My late father, he used to work in a cruise ship for 10 years. Not by his choice, but by necessity because his family was poor and he needed to support his younger siblings. He told me, Natalie, if I could choose, I would love to work as a psychologist. But hey, we gotta survive first before we can dream. And then he's telling me, he told me about people think that cruise ship life was glamorous, but it only happened on the upper deck. The people in the lower deck, the work was tough, labor intensive, and the shift was long. He was forced to be apart from his family for months, and not to mention, the ship could crash. By the way, he could not swim. So every night he prayed that the ship will not sink. But among the stories that he told me, there was one thing that still remained stuck in my heart. My dear, I did not choose this path, but as I went through it, I enjoy it. I like traveling. As I look at new sceneries in new countries, the neon light in Vegas, the Panama Canal, and the temple in Japan, I was just thankful that I could see the world. And that night, I remembered his story and his memory. And I learned that we can find passion through action. By quickly understanding our heart's desire and slowly enjoying walking on our own path. And after that, I did some soul searching. I look back at my journey thus far, and I realized that I was always enjoy speaking ever since I was a small kid. And I felt alive when I was able to help people to be able to achieve something, to progress. Because of Toastmasters, I was equipped with skills, opportunities, and platform to encourage, to support, and to empower people. And since 2 years ago, I decided to pursue public speaking professionally. I spend my free time learning more and practicing more public speaking. I joined contests, and I said yes to any opportunities that came my way. I remember the first opportunity that landed on my door was from one of my old friends. And she asked me, Natalie, do you want to be featured on my podcast? Yes. I didn't even ask what podcast it was, what should I say, or when it was. I just said yes. And it was tough, but I enjoyed the process. I didn't get paid, but I felt alive. From one yes, it led to another yes, and another yes, and another yes. And it led to where I am right now. Fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, I found out that now I see life as a series of progression with a not so fixed destination. But that's fine, as long as we are quick in following our heart's desire. If my dad found his passion in seeing the world, I found my passion in sharing the word. And if my friend G asks me now, Natalie, what is your passion? I can answer it. G, my passion is to encourage and empower people to grow and find their confidence. So what is your passion? Have you found it? Quickly listen to your heart's desire and slowly walk towards your passion finding path. Quick and slow, you'll get there. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Let's give her a round of applause. All right, let's move on to, so it's quick and slow. Let's move on to our next part of our meeting. But first up, let's give our timer, Yanni, to put the time report in the chat. Or she wants to voice it out. Yep, she put it in the chat below. Wow, just nice. 7:30. Whoa. Okay, moving on to our next part of a meeting. But before that, let's have a group picture. Let's have Toastmaster Sani to take a group picture for all of us.
Hello, hello, everyone. Show up your face. All right. Let me check on. Alvin, do you want to show your face? I count in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so Alvin will stay with video off.
Can we
Okay,
do
guys.
one more? Wait, can we do one more crazy shot? Because I like to have it.
Oh, I haven't started. Don't worry, I haven't started. Okay. Okay, now
okay.
first pose is normal pose. Okay.
Oh, first normal.
Ready? Normal pose, ladies and gentlemen. 3, 2, 1. Okay, give me a few seconds. Oh, hold on.
Shall I help you, Sani?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. All right, guys. So let me retake that in case Danny couldn't have it. So we're gonna take it in several shots, right? So first one, normal pose before we go crazier. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. And now you're doing who's the boss pose. Show that you're the boss. Okay. Okay, guys, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Last one is the crazy pose. You can do whatever you want.
You want to suck your thumb? Go ahead.
I think everyone should suck their thumb. Exactly.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Crazy. Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right.
And one, can you all go like this? Can you all go like this for me? One more. Just go like this. Ready? Hold on. I gotta do it. Hold on. Everyone go like this. Yes. Hold on. 1, 2. Woo! Give me your best thumb. Great. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Lana.
you, Lada. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Tom Robin Chen.
Thank you very much. And now it's time to move on to the next part of a meeting, the most fun part of the meeting, which is table topics. And let's welcome our table topic master here tonight, who is none other than Toastmaster, our president, Fifi. Over to you.
Thank you, Robin, our Toastmaster of the meeting for today's meeting. Hi, everyone. This table topic session is open for everyone here. As table topic master, I will give a brief description of table topics, then call on respondent at random. Your response should express your thoughts clearly, lasting in 1 to 2 minutes. 1 minute timer will show you green, 1.5 minute yellow, and 2 minutes in red. You will be given tolerance for 30 seconds after that. Our team, as mentioned by Robin, who's the boss? And word of the day is esteem. Now, who wants to try first?
Let me do it. I'll be leaving.
Okay. Marenda, let me share my screen now. Okay. Here's the question. What do you think if someone says, I'm not bossy, I'm the boss? What do you think if someone says, I'm not bossy, I'm the boss? Toastmaster Marendra Dika in 1 until 2 minutes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if someone saying, I'm not bossy, I'm the boss, to me, it's okay. You can say whatever you want because you are so unique. So exactly, you can say anything that you want to say. So in case of I'm not bossy, I'm the boss, that's totally fine to me. Well, my case, I have to admit that somehow I think I'm the boss for certain things, but actually I just have followers in another things, a lot of things. So being bossy, maybe not bossy, being boss, kind of a little bit. Anyway, it somehow give us a privilege to exercise what is in us. If you have in yours and you find your talents and you think that I would like to exercise it, it is okay. It is okay. People make mistakes, and the way make mistakes somehow being boss. Being boss meaning take responsibility, doing these things that you believe, and you responsible with whatever the outcomes. It's fair enough. And apparently, at the end of the story, you yourself define you are bossy or you are the boss. So is someone saying themselves, am I bossy or I am bossy or I am the boss or I am the boss? All those scenarios are not problems. Each of you, boss. Each of you, followers. Each of you has responsibility, the outcomes that you've made, that you've decided. Finally, at the end of the story, just be yourself because it's one of the most amazing moments in life. Just be yourself. As easy as that. Thank you. And give the control back to Double topic master.
Wow, thank you, Marendra Dika, for always want to try to be the best in your life. Okay, let's continue. May I have the second volunteer?
Can I try? Alvin.
Sorry,
Alvin.
Ken.
Alvin.
Alvin. Okay.
Donna.
Okay, Alvin, this is the question for you. They said an amazing boss is hard to find. What will you do to become an amazing boss? What will you do to become an amazing boss? Toastmaster Alvin in 1 until 2 minutes.
Phew. That's what I want to say to most boss I ever met. Sometimes they just annoying. They say a rule, but somehow they are the first who break the rule. For example, never sleep on the meeting. 5 minutes later, what kind of boss is that? If you are the boss, you should lead by example. You should be the one that can be shown. So we can see to you and copy that. But in my observation that most of the boss is not credible with his word. He is the first person who break the rule. And that is annoying. My fellow Toastmaster and guests, and what can I suggest if you are a leader? Stop telling people what to do. If you already tell it, you don't need to repeat it once or two. Just show an example. If you want to say, don't sleep at the meeting, you need to stay awake. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. And by that, you can set example for the rest of the audience, for the rest of your team, that you already do it. And when you already show it to others, you can explain him not by words, but by action, that this rule is applicable. Can you see sometimes leaders just tell a rule that is not applicable, that just hilarious or annoying rules, like don't use your phone, and the first time who use the phone is that boss. So my fellow Toastmaster and guests, if you are a boss or the next leader, please lead by example, show everyone that your rules is applicable and benefit, and you will be a better leader. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster PP.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alvin, to share how to become an amazing boss. Okay, thank you. And may I have the third volunteer?
Donna, please.
Donna, right? Okay. Okay, Donna. Which one do you prefer? Become a leader or a boss? And tell us the reason. Which one do you prefer? Become a leader or a boss? And tell us the reason. Toastmaster Donna in 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay. Thank you for understanding my answer. So when I first had my very first team 2 years ago, I was a very new graphic designer to a very new field, which is graphic design, which I never knew before. And then I had 4 people just shoved in front of my face, and I said, what am I supposed to do? So I did it with a very simple approach. All I did was approach them as if I would approach my own juniors in high school. I would say, hi, what are you up to? We have these things due today. We have these things due tomorrow. Do you need any of my help? And when they say no, I go do my thing. And when they say they do, I sit down and take as long as I have to in order to help them to succeed. That is my responsibility. I believe that as long as you sit next to whoever you're supposed to be leading, as long as you provide support as much as possible as you can, I think it's a great thing. And I don't think that comes with being a boss. I think that comes with being a leader. If you're a boss, all you got to do is say, you got to do this, you got to do that, this thing's do this. Why isn't this thing done yet? It's been 2 days. But when you're a leader, you sit down, you make sure that everyone goes towards the same goal happily at the same pace towards better selves and better results. I think that's all for me. So I definitely choose to be a leader. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Donna, for sharing with us the reasons and also mentioning that you prefer to be the leader, not a boss. What a wise decision. Thank you very much. And may I continue to the fourth volunteer?
Luisa.
We have Noel, Vivi.
Okay, who's
Yeah,
first,
Noel
Luisa or
first.
Noel?
Noel first, and then Luisa.
Okay, Noel, are you ready? So, Noel, in your family, who becomes the boss and why? In your family, who becomes the boss and why? And why? Toastmaster Noel in 1 until 2 minutes.
Okay. My girl, come here. Viola, come here. This is the boss in my home. Yeah. Why? Because as you parents, I think the purpose of the goal or the goals or your life after you got married is the kids, if you already have the kids. All your dreaming, all your goals that you already prepare, I think it will be changed when you see your little kids birth in the world. Why? Because this is one of the purpose of our love as the parents. For example, for my wife as the previous, as the career woman, she dream as the tax consultant for professional. However, because of the boss, right now, she become a housewife. I cannot say that she cannot reach the goal in her life, because right now, the boss life is pretty good. She's get achievement in her elementary school. She has the confidence level in her life. So as the parent or as the family, I do believe most of us agree that our kids is the boss in our family. Even we are the leader or we are decision of the life, but we propose that our kids is the number one is as parent life. God, back to you, Tom. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Noel, for sharing with us who is the real boss in your family. It's challenging, right? Okay, I have the next volunteer. The fifth one is Toastmaster Luisa, right? Toastmaster
Yes.
Luisa, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. This is common in business. There is only one boss, that is the customer. Please share your opinion about this. There is only one boss, that is customer. Please share your opinion about this. Toastmaster Luisa in 1 until 2 minutes.
There is only one boss, the customers. I couldn't agree more with this statement. It just happened to me recently. Yesterday, I was very dissatisfied with the performance of a supplier as I was working as a procurement staff. So we've been dealing with this supplier for a very long time, and I'm dealing with the marketing of the company. He just gave me an excuse for being late and all. So I decided that, fine, I have enough of this. So I pick up the phone and call his boss. And I said that, you are not performing well and your staff is not giving us the level of satisfaction that we require. I mean, we all the customers, we pay you money, so you gotta serve us the best way you can. And 5 minutes later, his staff called me and said, what can we do to support your company, ma'am? Is there anything we can work out? You know, we are very sorry for the bad performance that we've been giving you for the past 6 weeks. You see, we're not just being like entitled in this case, but when we're doing business, your only purpose, I think, is to give the best way you can to your customers. We don't need the excuse. So if we are in the circumstances like this, when you have a customer to serve, we'll always have this mindset that your customer is your boss. Drop everything you have on your plate and just focus on that, and then everything should be fine, right? Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Luisa. Wow, as procurement, you handling both internal and external customers. In my experience, handling internal customer is more complicated and challenging. Thank you for sharing with us. Now the next volunteer is Toastmaster Shueishin, right?
Yes, Shueishin. Yes.
Ah, okay. This is the question for you. If you become the boss, what is your biggest challenge? If you become the boss, what is your biggest challenge? Toastmasters facing in 1 until 2 minutes.
May I request you to stop share, please, so that I can see the whole audience.
Hello?
May I request you to stop sharing the screen so that I can see the whole? Thank you.
Oh, okay.
What if I become the boss? And what is the biggest challenge? I must say the biggest challenge for me is to handle or to give the fair and square chances to all the workers. As most of the women, like I'm also one of the women, I am too emotional. Sometimes, like if someone just said I care a lot, the words, and I am so sad. Sometimes I'm so happy. Sometimes, very easy to upset something. So too emotional, and I really don't like it also. But in another way, this is also emotional intelligence is also very great for us to handle or to improve ourselves also. So this is also like another side. It is also great strength. So yeah, the biggest challenge for me is, like I said before, I'm too emotional sometimes. So it will be very difficult for me and very big challenge for my followers and also for my teammates and other people to give the fair and square chances. So yeah, what about you, dear fellow Toastmasters? I believe that you all are leaders and you all are, maybe boss in your workplace or at home or in your family. So what is the biggest challenge for you? Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Wow, thank you, Toastmaster Shueishin, for sharing with us. Yes, we do all have our own challenge to become the leader. And we have to find a way how to solve it. Thank you for sharing. And now let's continue for the next Ben, right? So Toastmaster Ben, Are you a macro manager or micro manager? Are you a macro manager or micro manager? Toastmaster Ben in 1 until 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Madam Table Topic Master. This is a very serendipitous question because as a sociology teacher, we talk about macro and micro and kind of the big picture, small picture kind of thing. For me, I'm a planner and I like to think about the big picture. But also at the same time, when I was in the Army, we were really hands on and we had to be kind of micromanagers in a way when we were leadership because people's lives were at stake. So I think I've evolved from micromanager to a macro manager, and mainly because as I've been out of the Army and I've had many bosses, in one particular scenario, 3 weeks ago, we had to do something for my school. We had to substitute and kind of fill in for a teacher. I had 3 people, my subject leader, one of the assistant principal, and the principal, all messaged me within a 10-minute period telling me what I had to do. It's all micromanagers. My subject leader is in charge of telling me what to do, and for those in that situation, I don't need 3 other people telling me what to do. They're all micromanaging each other. So when I get micromanaged, I get kind of annoyed because I'm very independent. All you got to do is tell me once, kind of like what Alvin said earlier. If you're a boss, just tell me once. If I make a mistake, let me know about it. But don't keep telling me the same thing over and over again, and don't have 6 people telling me the same thing. So from that lesson, I feel that when you put people in the right position, you need to trust them to get the job done. And things kind of roll downhill. If they don't do a good job, you're going to get yelled at it. But that's the idea. You train your employees, you train your staff to do the job that you're paying them to do, and you let them do it. Set the expectation. So for me, I'm a macro manager, big picture. Everyone's comfortable. You do your job, kind of hands off. And then every once in a while, you check in and make sure everything is doing great. And if it's not, then you got to go in and do a little micromanaging and hopefully fix it a little bit, but not too much. So to basically answer your question, I'm a macro manager. Thank you for the opportunity, and back to you, Table Topic Master.
Wow, that's a great answer by Toastmaster Ben. He's sharing why he prefer to be a macro manager. If you ask me, it will depend on the situational. Sometimes I can be a macro manager. Sometimes there is a situation I should be a micro manager. That's me. Thank you, Ben, for sharing. And can I have Gio?
He already left.
Oh, Gio, he left. Okay. Then Toastmaster Seni, do you want to try the next question?
Okay, I'll try, Madam Table Topic Master.
Okay. Here's the question. Happy boss day. What will you do to appreciate your boss? What will you do to appreciate your boss? Toastmaster Seni in 1 until 2 minutes.
What will I do to appreciate my boss? Well, in the company that I'm working now, our boss, I found him as an introvert person because he obviously doesn't like gathering. Any big gathering, he will try to avoid those events. When the pandemic came, it was last year. We did one time that one of my colleague, she present the birthday cake to the boss, like singing happy birthday or something like that. Then took the picture. But this year, that colleague told us that, hey girls, this year, please, the boss already mentioned that don't celebrate his birthday and all of us was shocked. And then I thought that, if no celebration on his birthday, then no celebration at all, no greetings at all. And then I was thinking to design a birthday card for him. And then a few days before, it was few days before, I already have had in my mind that I need to. I went to his wife and asked for a good picture of the boss. After I collect some, and then I try to edit. I try to create a few, and then I send it to the manager, and then she chose one. And then at the end of the working day, I sent to my boss and his wife as well. And well, I think that's all that I as a staff can celebrate the boss. Happy birthday, boss. Back to you, Madam Table Talk Master.
Thank you, Sandy. So your boss is just happy, right? When all the staff saying happy birthday, boss. My boss during happy boss day, we love to hear how many orders do we get. Okay, I received message that we already finished with all the questions. Thank you very much for all your participation. I return back to our Toastmaster of the meeting, Toastmaster Robin Chan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Vivi. Let's give her a round of applause for such a fun table topic session. And now let's move on to the next part of our meeting, which is the evaluations, where we learn and grow, apply those feedback, and that's where we improve as speakers and communicators. Now I'll move to my partner in crime. Let's welcome our GE to lead the rest of the meeting for today. Over to you, Toastmaster Dini.
Thank you, Toastmasters of the meeting, Toastmaster Robin. First, I would like to call report from the speech evaluator. And for the first, I would like to call Toastmaster Robin and Toastmaster Natalie to evaluate Toastmaster Lada's speech. So who wants to
Just
first?
a note for timer, each of us get the normal evaluation timing, so Lada can get more feedback. Robin will start.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will start first.
All right. Over to you, Toastmaster Robin.
Thank you. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and to all thumb suckers out there. Today, as you listen to the speech of Lada, it's quite a shock of your life when you hear about it, right? Yes, if you are shocked just like me, well, maybe you are you're a thumb sucker, maybe. All right, let's move on to the evaluation now. Well, I used to be a I used to suck my thumb last time, but I was young back then. I was so young, like a baby. So, and since then, I built up my self-esteem. Now I don't do it anymore. Now I would like to give an evaluation on the speech of Lada. So I will tell you about what I like about your speech. Your speech was very energetic, engaging, and that made us curious. I like the start of how you started your speech, because you asked a lot of questions, and that got us like, what are you going to talk about? 1 in 10 people? 1 in 10 doing this? What are you talking about? And that made us really curious about what you want to talk about. I like that. And now I want to share with you on how you can improve on your speech now. So I will tell you what I've noticed, and I will give you some recommendation based on that. So first, what I've noticed is when you said you were, at the beginning, when we were sucking your thumb and you were talking at the same time, we couldn't hear what you were saying. So I don't know if it was on purpose, but what I will recommend is perhaps you could not do it, or just pretend to do it, and then you can just speak. Yeah, so that people, because you were saying a lot of things and people will not be able to hear that. Second thing, what I've noticed is that you were looking down a lot of times. So I'm not sure if you were looking at the audience, but you look like you were reading out your speech. So it was like looking down there. And what I would recommend is to look here, there, right at the camera, to just engage with your audience and stay engaged. The third thing, what I've noticed is when you were singing, if you're happy and you suck your thumb, what do? You usually clap hands. So what I would say is to make it more fun is to, if you're happy and you suck your thumb, like instead of like clap. Yeah, to make it more fun, to make it like very lively. And the fourth thing that what I've noticed is that you were using this unicorn filter on Zoom. I'm not sure if it's allowed in the contest. You might check with your contest chair and read out in the contest rule book to clarify on that. And when you move a lot, it tends to appear and disappear. So it's quite distracting at the same time. And what I would recommend to you is, since you use the unicorn, I will recommend you not to use it unless you are speaking about a unicorn most of the time in your speech. Yeah. And you can use it as a prop to make an emphasis. So that's all for me to just apply on those 4 things, is to work on that. And now I'll move to Toastmaster Natalie. Over to you.
I'm sorry, Natalie, before you go, I was thinking of doing the song, If You're Happy and You Know It. Is that too sexual though? If I make that sound, I was thinking of that. Is that too sexual? You know what I'm saying?
I think it's a little bit sexual. So
right? That's what I was thinking.
Actually, avoid it.
Avoid it.
Don't go. Right. I was thinking
Yeah.
that was. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. The guy thinks it.
Yeah,
right?
I was just thinking about it, like, yeah. All right.
Right.
Move on.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you.
All right, timer, can you reset the time? Thank you. So Lada, I will just go straight to the point and adding on top of what Robin has mentioned. I totally agree with Robin that your energy is beyond what Zoom can handle. Like, I would imagine if you're in an offline meeting, you will definitely rock the stage. Another thing that I like that Robin hasn't mentioned is that you have such a conversational tone, and it's very important to make the speech sounds natural. So keep that up. Another thing that I like is Lada here. Everybody here can learn from Lada. She has quite a lot of slapstick humor. She uses her body to emphasize the humor. And not only that, the word choices that she had in her speech, like "we suck," it has like some rhyme on it, right? The organization and other things. And nighttime thumb suckers, and some other things that I miswrote it. I mean, I miss it, but when I heard it, it was great. When you relate to the pop culture, it's also great, because if the audience can relate to it, then you can start building connection. Now, to improve on this speech, because you wanted to compete in humor speech contest, I believe we should go back to the basic and look back at the judging sheet. And I found one thing among some other things that I will add on later that really necessary is to have a message. So the difference between stand-up comedy and also humor speech contest in Toastmasters is, in stand-up comedy, you just need to be funny. It doesn't have to have a good flow, as long as it has a premise, setup, punchline. So you start with something normal, you build up the expectation, and then you twist it, punchline. That's stand-up comedy. But then in Toastmasters, for the contest, you still need to have like speech value, 15%. That's what in judging sheet. So it's basically the message. So my suggestion is you can start extrapolating the thumb sucking to something that many people can relate to. For instance, dare to be different, or find your own joy. Like, I find my own joy in thumb sucking. What about you? And then you can relate it back to the audience, because you can engage them. You can ask them questions about, right at the conclusion part. So the engagement happened in the beginning, in the middle, and at the end as well. Another thing that I would like to suggest along this theme of content is that maybe you want to consider having some foundational phrase, a phrase that people can still remember even after your speech finishes. At this moment, all I remember was thumb sucking. But I believe you want to have something else, right? You can repeat that several times. It can be something funny. It can be something very lada, if you know what I mean. And then you can repeat that. One more thing is that when you say in your speech, according to my speech, I'm going to convince you that adult thumb sucking is fun. Now I started to think that maybe this is the purpose of the speech, right? You want to show it that it's fun, it's entertaining. But I also started thinking, what's in it for me? Why should I know that adult thumb sucking is fun? Because humor is about connection. And if we don't feel connected, audience can very easily tune out of the conversation and it's gone. So my suggestion is try to establish some context in the beginning before you actually go into the adult thumb sucking is fun. Some point of connection, point of relatability that can be connected with your message. If your message is something, then you can connect it with that, put it in the opening, and then at the end it comes out again. It will be like a one full package. You already applied some rule of three when you say Rihanna, Lady Gaga, and Terminator, with the thumb sucking thing. Another way of using rule of three is also when you use something normal for the first example, something normal for the second example, and something totally unexpected for the third example. So for example, at this moment, just on top of my head, you guys might think I'm silly, I'm crazy, but hey, I'm actually happier than you. So maybe, normal, unexpected. So you can incorporate that to give a little bit more twist to your humorous content. Overall, Lada, good job. Keep sucking your thumb because this thumb up is for you. Back to you.
Thank you. Great. Awesome.
Thank you, DTM Natalie, and also Toastmaster Robin for a very detailed evaluation for Toastmaster Lada. Now we come to our second speaker, and I would like to call Toastmaster Ben as the evaluator. Toastmaster Ben, over to you.
Thank you, Madam GE. All right, Toastmaster Dion. Over the last 2 years almost, I've seen you in this club kind of grow and grow and grow and get better, and like the clarity of your speeches, the organization of your speeches have grown since the beginning when I first met you all the way until now. And it's a pleasure to kind of see people kind of build on what they are. And that's really what Toastmasters is all about for all of us that have been there for a while, is that it takes a while to get to where you're going sometimes. And you're still going, and it's getting better and better. And the purpose of your speech, of course, was to tell a story, essentially, right? And you did exactly that. Again, your pronunciation, your pace, really, really smooth. Again, like I said, you organized your thoughts, which made it really easy for us to hear and kind of go to each step, and which is really helpful. And then one thing, you also gave us a lesson. One, it's about like kind of composting, and also the bigger lesson about like diapers, in a sense of like, babies tend to use diapers quite a bit. I'm not a parent, so I don't know this firsthand, but apparently babies use a lot of diapers, and they poop all the time, right? And you're kind of giving these suggestions, like, but then people are like, oh no, like, oh, we gotta clean more, and that's gross. So one of the things that I would have really, really liked to add to your kind of pace would have been to kind of, because there's a certain points where you're a little monotone, right? When you're talking about like composting and then and diapers, this is a time where you can kind of pause a little bit and create some imagery where like you can use your facial expressions and you can kind of get the intonation in your voice, or like, it's kind of, we know that it's really a bad kind of like smell and kind of disgusting, but babies kind of do this kind of stuff and we're all kind of understand that concept, but kind of really paint that imagery of like diapers, and that would be really helpful, and kind of it add a little humor to it as well. And to kind of go with that intonation, this is where you get to kind of, I would challenge you to start like being a little bit more loose, like loosey goosey in a sense, as I like to say, because when we're giving speeches and performing, we want to be really comfortable, and that's kind of builds our confidence. And with your pace and your storytelling, your pronunciation, it's all right there. Now you got to find the kind of the rhythm with your body language a little bit. And when we're sitting down or even on Zoom in this tiny little box area, we don't have a lot of room to move, but explore the area that you can and use a little bit more gestures, which would be really, really helpful and kind of add a little bit more detail to the overall speech. So again, like I said, it's a great job organizing your story. You had some rhetorical questions. You had a call to action at the end. Keep working on adding a little bit of flair with intonation and imagery and gestures. And I can't wait. You keep on speaking, and it's getting better and better every time. So thank you very much for giving us this lesson. And back to you, Madam GE.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ben. A very detailed evaluation as well. And now we come our third speaker. And for that, I would like to call the evaluator to give her evaluation. Toastmaster Amelia, are you ready?
Yes, I'm audible and visible, right?
Yes. Okay, over to you.
Toastmasters Natalie, your objective today is to apply yesterday's speech feedback. And I'm so amazed with a lot of improvement you made in the second speech. That's awesome. Two things. I can see that you apply all the 3 suggestions that I gave. I can see the quick and slow and the opening, body, and conclusion bind the speech so well. I can see you put more detail on your father's story. And then as so you make us, we're there, like listening your speech, your conversation with your dad, and you put a stronger conclusions. And I noticed that you few times throw a reflective questions to the audience as well. It makes us connect with your speech from the beginning itself to the end. And not to mention the second thing, you added humor, which is make it even nicer. Some suggestion that I can give to you to make it even stronger. The first is to make a stronger linkage with all the parts you gave. I can see that you put quick and slow from the beginning to the end, which is great. But I found, like, for examples, I listened your story when you're 30. You are in the place where you have your job, your thing, and everything. But then you remember that questions, which is actually your opening is when you were in your 25. So I kind of like missing that 5 years. Probably you can add like, suddenly I remember G's questions 5 years ago. So we can, like, oh, I'm turned out I'm living in the track that I thought it goes the same for everyone. But I still cannot, but I found that my heart is not singing right now. So something like that. They can linkage with the questions. Also for the story of your dad itself, this is for my point of view. When I heard of the story, I found the message for me is you probably didn't choose the path you are going right now, but when you're slowly enjoying the path, somehow you found the way to the passion. So if it is that really your this moral story of your dad, I would like to see that also in your story and in the message for the audience at the end. So I found that I'm in the path that I thought it's same for everyone, but turned out by slowly enjoying the path, I found out something that I enjoyed. So the connection with the moral story itself, and also at the end. Have you found your passion? You probably now in the track that your parents set it up for you, or your society set it up for you. But hey, you can slowly enjoying your path, and somehow it will lead you to the passion, something like that. So the moral story will goes the same and keep developing until the message that you give to the audience. Last, probably remove. I know that last time I asked you to add details to the relevant story, but remove details of the supporting stories. So in my opinion, give more time to the conclusion itself. So story about your podcast, you can directly sum it up like my friend told me, invite me to the, so you can have more time to the conclusion itself. So I think that's a suggestion for me. I esteem you for quick in applying the feedback and slowly in enjoying develop a good speech. Back to you, G.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amelia. Now, before we continue listening to the feedback from my team, ballot counter, are we going to cast the ballot now?
Madam GE, please invite timer to submit the
Oh,
report.
yeah.
Please.
Thank you. Timer?
Yen, you are still muted.
All right. So timer already put the evaluation, the record on the chat. So
Okay, Madam GE, I can launch the poll. Give me a moment.
Those times are so tight. Holy crap.
Yeah. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All of you can see the poll. Can all of you see the poll? Okay. So for you to know that for the first evaluator, for the first evaluators we have 2 because it was round robin, and both of the evaluators said that no need to be voted. So we only vote for the 2 evaluators, which is Ben and Amelia. Okay. I'm still waiting for the vote. Come on, come on, come on. All right, almost done. Okay, for the co-hosts, you know who you are. You can send your vote directly to me. I will end the poll. Thank you very much. Back to you, Madam GE.
Thank you, Toastmaster Semi. Now it comes to the feedback from my team. I would like to call the first lovely lady in my team, which is the grammarian, to give her report. Toastmaster Bia, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, over to you.
Thank you. So good evening, everyone. We will be going through the grammar parts for the night at my session. As for the word of the day, I think it could have been said more. But let's just head straight to the grammar parts of it. So for my grammar session, I personally prefer to compartmentalize what section that needs to be fixed when we're when we talk and stuff like that. So I'm not really going to get through each of the errors, but I'm just going to compartmentalize it and in a more general manner. So the first is that there are certain misuse of article. So let me just remind you what kind of articles are there. There are indefinite articles. A or an N is used to refer to a noun. A is used for the word that begin with the consonant sound, and N is used for words that begin with a vowel sound. And if there's a the is used in front of singular or plural noun and adjectives to refer to which both parties are familiar with. And the second is that subject verb agreement. One of the errors is that do you know where Mauritius are? It's supposed to be this because like Mauritius are only one country. And the third is, I think this happens a lot in us second language speakers. We have front on sentences, which 2 or more independent clauses are joined. For example, if I were to say I'm a student and a daughter and and I'm a writer, that is a run-on sentences. So it would be more appropriate if I were to say I'm a daughter, I'm a student, and a writer. So make sure that you don't, so make sure to pay attention to run-on sentences, because I think that is one of the most errors that is made when we talk or when we make a speech or talk in a general manner. And the fourth is prepositions. There are certain preposition that is not in its place. Preposition is used to preposition of time for at is used to show the activities that happen on a specific circumstance, whereas preposition of place is used to describe a thing, a location, or a specific placement. For example, preposition of time is at, don't forget to catch the bus at 3 p.m. Preposition of place for at, you can put the umbrella at the corner. So I think there's too much of preposition if I'm going to go through it one by one. So preposition is actually one of the aspects that sometimes keep being misplaced here and there. And the last but not least on the grammar parts is adverbs and adjectives. English learners often mix up adverbs and adjectives. For example, well is an adverb, good is an adjective. So technically, it could be said like you ran well, but your run was good, and the test was good, but went well. So those are just the examples. And I'm going to mention some quotes, thoughts, or words that I find very engaging, and it's quite it catches my attention. The first part is of course the thumbs up as a topic. I feel like it is very engaging. If you were to say, as was mentioned by the evaluators, the message, I think it was a very strong topic to start with, and it was very interesting how there's the song and how artist thumbs ups, because I can't get it over my head. How can Rihanna, like, I can imagine Rihanna thumbs up, or the big Arnold Schwarzenegger just thumbs sucking all his day, just basically doing whatever he's doing with while he was thumb sucking. So this is very interesting. Okay, and the second is that I found it from Natalie's speech, if I'm not mistaken, because I'm trying to type it. My dad sees the world as his passion, but by sharing the word, that is my passion. I think there's a very powerful sentence, like it rhymes. How it rhymes makes people just remember it. Oh, there's something that Natalie said. So yeah. And the third one is I'm not bossy, I'm the boss. Wow, that is a very powerful sentence too. You can use it when you're trying to make a point, and but it's also a slippery slope, because sometimes people could just use it in a wrong context. So and the fourth is boss should lead by example. I think I find it in table topics, and I think there's a very something that is also very important for us as future boss, even for myself, because I'm still a student right now, to remember. And the sixth, all of us are leaders on our own settings. This is not said exactly word by word, but I think it is portrayed as such. So, it's very important for us to remember that we are leaders on our own settings, or bosses in this sense. And the sixth is rule of three. I never really, I know it exists, but I never really know the name of it. The rule of three is quite interesting: normal, and unexpected. And I think we could use it in, a lot of our speech. It is very, it will steal the audience's attention and be like, oh, okay, rule of three. Oh, yeah, something very normal and something that is unexpected. And the last but not least is a saying by Ben. I think is what is the word? Be loosey goosey, and I think it's a very playful word. It's because we as Indonesians we don't use this kind of sentences a lot, so I think it's cute to use it in a speech. Devil may care, happy go lucky, and certain things. And I think that's all for me. and thank you for a very interesting session tonight. I would bring it back to our general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bia. What a true record from your side as the grammarian. Now I would like to call our accountant far away from Jakarta, Toastmaster Titin. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Dini, our GE. Let me share the screen. And here is my counter report. Okay, so the first one, Toastmaster Lada, she was clear, no filler words. Toastmaster Dian Vivi, to er, and the repeated word to the. DTM Natalie, no filler words. Toastmaster Marendra, no filler words. Toastmaster Alvin, one but and one and two and one ah. Toastmaster Donna, no filler words. Toastmaster Noel, repeated word, she dream. And then Toastmaster Luisa, no filler words. Toastmaster Swesin, one two ah. Toastmaster Ben, no filler words. Toastmaster Seni, five two ah, and the repeated word, and then. Toastmaster Vivi, one and then one ah. Toastmaster Robin, one like, one and one ah. DTM Natalie, no filler words as evaluator number 2. Toastmaster Ben also no filler words. Toastmaster Amelia mentioned the word of the day esteem once, and then one and then one one a, and the repeated word was the. Toastmaster Bia as the grammarian, one so, one and then okay, for two and Toastmaster Dini, the GE, my boss, because she hasn't spoken a lot yet. So clear, no filler words so far for Toastmaster Dini. So this awareness hopefully will provide added motivation to cut out the filler words from our speeches. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Dini.
Thank you, Toastmaster Titin. But I'm not the boss here. The president of the club is the boss. Thank you. Now, since I believe that Timer already posted her record on the chat box, I believe we don't have to hear from her, right? So I can go to my evaluation, to my feedback. I always enjoy come to Bhinneka because the meeting is always professional. I know that I believe that every GE that come to this meeting always said that the video is awesome. And I will say it again. Congratulations. Thank you for Robin that made this video, right? And I love how the role taker gathered like a day before of the meeting. You already have all the evaluator, all the role taker before the meeting, even though I know sometimes some role takers pull back like last meeting, last minute, but you always have the cover. And I like how I like how Zoom hosts remind SAA to open the meeting because the time is already start, and also how all the role takers work based on their duty. And for the evaluator, speech evaluator, all of them are seasoned Toastmasters. I believe they know how to evaluate the speakers, so the speakers can progress on their next speech. Thumbs up to all the evaluator. To my role takers, all the role takers in my team, Toastmaster Bia did a great job. I know her from her previous club before. Or are you still in Malang Toastmaster Bia? I love how she, now already in Bhinneka. Oh, congratulations. Toastmaster Bia is really a detailed person. She really put her effort on seeing all the speech. My suggestion for Toastmaster Bia, it will be nice. Personally, I like when the grammarian put like an interactive session with the grammar session. You know, when you ask all the participants to mention the words, or you ask them who said this sentence. So it will be more interesting, Toastmaster Bia. And for the part-timer, is it her first time as timer? For Toastmaster Yeni, is it her first time?
Second time.
Oh, second time. I see.
Second
That's
time.
okay. Yeah, because we have to practice lots in Toastmaster. Sometimes even though I'm also a long member in Toastmaster, sometimes I forget what is the duration for each speech and missed all the time as well. That's okay. Toastmaster Reni, you did a great job. And also Toastmaster Seni, you did a great job on setting the meeting and also doing the ballot. And I think that's all for me. I don't want to take more times. So yes, coming to Bhinneka is always a pleasure for me. Thank you. And I will give control back to our Toastmasters of the meeting, Toastmaster Robin. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Dini, all the way from Surabaya Heroes. Thank you for giving us all the feedback on the evaluation, your general evaluation on Bhinneka Online Toastmasters. And we love you so much, and we want you to come back again to help us in our meeting. And yeah, it's good to have you with us. It's been quite some time that I haven't seen you, so it's good to have you here today with us. All right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before we end our session today, you have voted earlier, right? And we're going to present out the certificates of the best table topic speaker, best evaluator, and the best speaker of today. So let's give it up to our ballot counter. Are you ready with the certificates?
Okay,
Ballot
second.
counter.
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Excuse for the background sound because of my niece. Okay. All right. It's time for the winners. The first winners is best evaluator goes to Amelia Febriani. Congratulations. Robin, can you help to take the picture?
I cannot wait. Nat, can you take the picture?
Sure.
Oh yeah, Natalie, please.
Can Amelia already? Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Cool.
Cool. Next, for the best table topic speakers goes to Toastmaster Ben.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
And the best speaker is Natalie.
Hi. Okay. Okay, Natalie.
You take the picture of yourself. Okay. And the last one for our first timer today as the SAA. Yenny Wong. Congratulations, Yen.
Okay, Yenny.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3. Okay, pretty. We're done.
Okay, all of the winners done. And I give the control back to the Toastmaster of the meeting, Robin.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sunny, our ballot counter for today, and also Zoom Master. Thank you. And guys, thank you all for coming to Bhinneka Online Toastmasters Club. And my name is Robin, and today I was your host. I hope you enjoyed the meeting today and everything about today about being the boss and who is the boss of your life and how you can not to be bossy, but at some point of time, show how to be the boss. Okay. Awesome. Now, before we end, let's give back the control back to our president, Toastmaster Vivi Amaliawanti. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the meeting, Toastmaster Robin Chen, and other role takers for inspiring us and guiding us in this event well. Last but not least, thank you to all Bhinneka Online Toastmaster Club members, visiting Toastmasters, especially to Toastmaster Dini, Toastmaster Titiningsi, Toastmaster Bia, Toastmaster Lada, Toastmaster Emilia, Toastmaster Srisin, Toastmaster Donna, Toastmaster Luisa, and Toastmaster Alvin for attending and joining into this fun. Please give yourself a big applause. For visiting Toastmaster and guests, feel free to provide your feedback after this meeting and contact us if you want to join our next meeting. It will be on Sunday, November 6th at 6 p.m. GMT+7. You can reach me, Natalie, Marendra, Ben, or anyone in Bhinneka Online Toastmaster Club. Okay, I also want to give reminder and also give opportunity to all of you here to take part in the next meeting, whether you want to be the prepared speakers or role takers. Please drop your message in the WhatsApp group. Now we come to the end of this meeting. With this meeting, let me announce this meeting is adjourned. Have a nice Sunday, everyone, and see you again.
Hold on, before we all go. So I have a question. Where is everyone from? Is everyone